Hi, this is Vinay Prakash from Intellisoft Training. In this video, I am going to show you what are the different kinds of training grants available in Singapore. As you know, the Singapore government actively promotes training. Therefore, there are several grants available to all of us. So let's look at some of the grants that you can tap on. First, there are grants available for companies, and if you are an individual, you can still tap on several training grants. So what are these grants and who is eligible? Well, keep in mind that there is eligibility criteria that applies for most of these trainings. So you need to make sure if you are eligible for these or not. So currently in Singapore, the training grants are provided by two organizations. These are government organizations. The first one is called Skills Future from the Workforce Singapore, called SSG. The second kind of training grant that's available are coming from the Income Tax Department under the Productivity and Innovation Credit Scheme. So this is from IRAS. Now, let me quickly tell you about Intellisoft Training. We are an approved training organization by SSG, that's the Singapore government. So we are approved to provide training to people in Singapore. We are also an approved testing center by ICDL Asia. So if you take any training at Intellisoft, which is a certification training, we will be able to take a test assessment, and then you will be able to claim the grants for such courses. All our trainers are ACTA certified, and depending on the topic, they could be Microsoft or Adobe certified trainers. So you are getting training from qualified and experienced trainers who are passionate about training. They have years and years of experience working in the industry, so they know what works in the industry, what kind of challenges people face, and then they help you to learn those skills, those tips and techniques that can be applied at work pretty easily. So far, we have trained thousands of participants at our institute who have attended our training programs and have got certified. Now let's look at what kind of grants are available for companies. So companies can tap on multiple grants. The first one is the WSQ funding from SSG. Now, as you know, SSG is a new name which has been recently changed. Previously, we used to call it the Workforce Development Authority, the WDA. So it doesn't matter. Right now, this grant comes from SSG. The second grant, as I mentioned to you, is the PIC grant available to all companies, and this comes from IRAS. So you can qualify for any of these grants as a company. Of course, there is criteria that you must be a company registered in Singapore, but I think most companies who are sending the people, they are all registered in Singapore or have offices in Singapore, so that shouldn't be any issue at all. Now, I will be giving you some scenarios shortly, but then let's also look at what kind of grants are available for individuals. So for individuals, whether you are a Singaporean or a PR, there are some grants that are available. The number one, the Singapore government has set up a Skills Future Fund, which was set up in the beginning of 2016. And this is only available to Singaporeans. So initially, government has credited $500 for all Singaporeans as a start for them to use this fund to help aid in their training needs. So you can use this amount if you haven't done so, and it will help you to pay up for the examination fee or the training fee. The second kind of grant that's available is the WSQ grant from WDA. All Singaporeans as well as PRs qualify for this training grant. So these training grants are available as long as you are taking a certification course, and you can have heavy funding available like 80%, 90%, even 95% of the training fee can be funded as long as it is a certifiable course. That means at the end there will be an assessment and you will get a certificate. So both Singaporeans and PRs can qualify for these grants from WSQ. Let's look at a couple of different scenarios on how to calculate the grants. You know, grants can be confusing. In fact, many people get confused on the eligibility, how to calculate the grant, because it may not seem as straightforward. Many people think they are pretty complex, and therefore they are unable to work out how much grant they will get. That's because there are different criteria and there are different eligibility conditions. So what we are trying to do is to help you work out by giving you a few sample scenarios that will help you to understand the grants slightly better, and then you can easily choose which type of grant you want to go for and attend training at Intellisoft. Let's look at a couple of scenarios. So the first scenario we want to look at is let's say you are a Singaporean and your age is above 35 years of age, and probably you're working but you're earning below $2,000 per month. So you have these criteria, and you also happen to have the WTS letter. That means the Singapore government has issued a workfare training support letter to you already. If you qualify for all of these four conditions, then the grant available to you is the maximum grant. You will be eligible for up to 95% of the WSQ grant for the training fee. And the balance 5%, well, you are still covered. The balance 5%, you can use your Skills Future credits to pay for it. So basically, you wouldn't have to pay anything at all if you still have your Skills Future and you meet all of these four criteria. So the first 95% comes from the WSQ grant, and the balance 5% can come from your Skills Future. Now, if you have already depleted or used up all of your Skills Future, then you only need to pay the balance 5% in cash. You can pay by cash or by check. Let's look at another scenario. So in this case, let us assume that you are a Singaporean and your age is above 40 years of age. You are earning above $2,000 per month. If you are not working, you will still be eligible for the training. Now, if you are working, your company could be a SME company, and if the company sponsors you, or if you are not working but you are a Singaporean above 40, then you can actually get 90% of the training fee supported by the WSQ grant. Keep in mind that this grant is capped at $25 per training hour. So the balance 10% can come from your Skills Future if you are a Singaporean. And let's look at a third scenario. This one is applicable if you are Singaporean or a PR. So if the first two scenarios don't work for you, probably you will fall into this third category. So if you are a Singaporean or PR, your age is above 21 and you are sponsored by a multinational company, then you can avail up to 80% WSQ grant. Keep in mind, this grant is capped at $17 per hour. The balance amount can be paid by Skills Future for Singaporeans, and if you're a PR, probably you'll have to pay the balance amount by cash or by check. Now, as I mentioned to you, these are certification courses. To qualify for the WSQ grants, participants must attend at least 75% of the training. Now, this is anyway essential because for you to learn, you must attend all the sessions. Also, it will help you because you not only learn, you practice on the actual software, and this will help you at work as well. So not only 75%, you should aim to attend the entire session. Secondly, you must sit for an assessment test at the end of the training. This is mandatory. Not only you must sit for the test, but you must pass the test as well. That means at the end of the assessment test, you must be declared competent in the assessment. So if you qualify all the three, then yes, the grant comes to you. Therefore, you can see it is pretty easy. Government is giving you 80, 90, even 95% grant. All you need to do is to attend the entire training, take the test and pass the test. So it's pretty easy, and you can use that to tap on government grants and enhance your career, accelerate your career, go to the next level. So now let's look at what are the courses which are eligible for WSQ funding. Well, you can use this to learn basic Microsoft Excel, basic Microsoft Word, basic Microsoft PowerPoint. You can use it to learn the basics of computers in the program Computer Essentials. You can also use it for Online Essentials, where you learn all about email, website, how do you handle files, folders, and things like that. You can also use it for Microsoft Project. It will teach you how to manage a project using the software. How do you break down the different tasks, manage the critical paths, handle the cost, as well as the timeline. Further, you can learn about pivot tables, VLOOKUP, macros, etc. in the Advanced Excel Certification Training. You can go for Advanced Word, Advanced Microsoft PowerPoint, and you can also use it to learn Adobe software. So you can use for Adobe Photoshop and learn how to create beautiful images. How do you create posters, EDMs, mugs, printing for flyers or for printing t-shirts or any kind of touching up of your holiday photographs and things like that. So Adobe Photoshop certification is fully funded by WSQ funding depending on your eligibility, and you can also sit for the Adobe Dreamweaver training, where you learn all about how do you create a website using HTML. So Adobe has created a software called Dreamweaver, which makes it pretty easy to create and maintain websites. This is a great software, and I suggest you should go for as many of these trainings as possible to enhance your skills and to improve the way you use software. It will definitely benefit you. As I mentioned to you earlier, there are several grants available and there are different criteria for the different grants. Grants can be confusing, they have different eligibility criteria and they could seem complex at times. But do not worry because of the eligibility or the different kind of criteria. We are here to help you. The Intellisoft team is here to help you. If you have any questions, you can always ask for Intellisoft help in checking how much grant you will get. So if you need any help, you can contact Intellisoft Training. We will assist you in choosing the right training program. We will give you help, guidance, advice on the grant, the eligibility, and we will help you with the right steps to claim the correct grants. So you should be able to maximize the government grants and help yourself to achieve the kind of height that you want to. Attain the certification that you need using the government grants available. Now, you can contact us at any time by visiting our website www.trainingint.com, or you can call us at 6296-4663 in Singapore, or you can send us an email at info@trainingint.com. So I hope you got a good idea about the different kinds of training grants available in Singapore, whether you are company sponsored or individual, whether you are Singaporean or PR. Almost everybody in Singapore is covered by these kind of training grants. Do let us know if you have any questions and contact us so that we can assist you in advancing your career to the next level by providing you the right training and the right grants that are available. Thank you very much. All the best.